Welcome to the Stop Over Drinking and Start Living podcast, where high-achieving, goal-oriented rebel women come to learn how to live a vibrant and fulfilling life without requiring alcohol to get through it. No labels, no judgments, no saying you'll never drink again. Just real proven methods to help you stop rebelling against yourself with alcohol so you can drink less and do more. I'm your host, Angela Mascenik. Let's dig in. Welcome to episode 196, How to Stop Doubting Yourself. Hey. Oh my gosh, 196 episodes of the Stop Over Drinking and Start Living podcast. I want to hear from you guys. I'm going to be doing a special 200th episode. So in 4 weeks from now, we're going to do something special for the 200th episode of the Stop Over Drinking and Start Living podcast. And when I think about 200 episodes, I do some math in my head and it's like, well, there's 52 weeks a year and that's almost 4 years of producing a podcast every single week and putting out content that's helpful and life-changing for you guys to change your relationship with alcohol. And I'm very, very proud of that. And I want to celebrate it. And I want to celebrate you, my amazing podcast listeners who have done some significant things with what I've been sharing on how to cut back on your drinking. I hear from some of you take the time to write me or post a review. But if you want to maybe ask me a question or to be featured on the podcast or have your name shouted out in celebration on how the podcast has helped you, I would love to hear from you. So send me an email, hello@angelamascenik.com, and tell me something, anything. You can ask me a question. I could answer it on the 200th episode or a future episode. If you want to celebrate yourself and some of the changes you've made with your relationship with alcohol or how the podcast is helpful to you, I would love to hear that. So send me an email, hello@angelamascenik.com. But today I want to talk about doubt and doubting yourself. Okay, so it's Sober October, on the interwebs. And, a lot of my colleagues in the recovery and sober space are, promoting Sober October. I'm all for taking a break, a 30-day break from your relationship with alcohol to, get away from the regular drinking, to kind of see why you're drinking, to heal some of that, to undo some of the desire that you have for alcohol and really evaluate your relationship with it so you can kind of get clear on where you want to go. So if you're doing Sober October, I love that. And if you're not doing Sober October, I love that too. Like, you really get to decide what kind of relationship you want to have with alcohol and how you cut back. Like, you all get to decide how you do this, which I think is such an important thing to remember. For me, I have, the whole dieting thing, like I talk about this a lot, but it's like I was put on a diet when I was 8 years old. Okay. And I have done all of the diets. Okay. All of them. And, my past has been looking to other people to tell me what to do. And that can not just be around diet and alcohol. That could be around work or how to do your relationships or how to do your marriage or how to raise your kids, right? We tend to look for other people or other systems and things to tell us how we should do things. And that's all fine and dandy to get you guys going. But just remember that you guys know what's best for you. If you're willing to get really honest with yourself, and you've probably tried a lot of things already, and so you know what works and what doesn't work for yourself, right? And so knowing that you can decide how you approach changing your relationship with alcohol is very empowering. I give you guys tons of advice, tons of suggestions, tons of coaching. My core principles are learning how to process your emotions, pausing and processing, and not being at the effect of those automatic cycles is really key. I teach a lot of that in my program. I teach you how to manage your mind and how to think about your relationship with alcohol and seeing how your thoughts are a huge role in how much you're drinking. Those are some of the core principles I have. And I teach you how to have agency over your own life and your own mind and your own emotional well-being. But that's not the only way, right? Like there's other ways you could do. You can follow a plan. You can use an app. You could join AA, like which has a whole different set of principles, right? The thing is, you guys know what works best for you. And if you listen to this podcast, if you've applied what I've taught you and had great results, this probably works for you, right? But a lot of times we get in our own way and we doubt our own capabilities. So I want to talk about that on this week's podcast. I wrote an email recently that was titled, "I don't think I can do that," right? So a lot of times in my coaching program, I help them set goals for the week or the month or even in their 6 months when they join. And, like we start out with small goals, right? And doable goals. And then it's like, okay, like if you're doing well with that, let's push it a little bit further. Let's see what else we can do and like expand those goals a little bit. And the idea of taking a 30-day break, or maybe if it's only a 7-day break, or even if it's just like going to a wedding and not drinking, okay? The automatic thoughts that come up for people is like, I don't think I can do that, right? And so they just listen to that mindset and they doubt their capabilities of doing something that they probably haven't done before. Or maybe they've tried to do something like that before and they've failed. And so they've come to this conclusion in their mind that I don't think I can do that. And so it prevents them from trying. Okay, so this thought, I don't think I can do that, initiates this doubt feeling in your body. Okay, so just a refresher on how this all works. Your brain has a sentence that it comes up with in your mind, and it releases a chemical structure into your body in which you feel a vibration. Okay, so you all know what anger feels like, and sadness and happiness, right? Those are some very common feelings. Doubt is a little bit more subtle, right? It just feels a little bit maybe like frozen. You might feel a little stuck, like you're like on this unsureness, like your body kind of freezes a little bit. That's how it feels like for me. Think about, you can try this on and see what it feels like for you, but think that thought, like, I don't think I can do that. Like maybe it's running a marathon or doing some big thing that you haven't done before, right? And just kind of feel what that doubt feels like in your body. But it kind of stops you, right? You just notice like you're not going to take action from that place because you're doubting yourself, okay? And so when we feel that, our actions from the doubt are to not take the next step, okay? It's to, keep doing some things that we're doing that aren't really effective, right? We don't stretch ourselves. We don't say yes to new opportunities. We might drink. We might overeat, right? Especially if you're thinking, I don't think I can do that, when it's an up level or a new thing that you might be trying around alcohol or food. Okay, so we tend to not do the thing that we actually want to do when we think, I don't think I can do that. And so that thought just really isn't super helpful, and it creates doubt, and doubt does get you nowhere. It keeps you stuck. Okay, but what I want to offer to you is that of course you could. Of course you could go to that party and not drink. Of course you could take a 30-day break. Of course you could go and not drink on a Friday night. Of course you could go to a social hour or happy hour with your colleagues and have a club soda with a lime. And the reason why I know that you could, because I've asked a lot of people, including my own self and my own obstacles here, like, what if your kid's life was at stake, or you would lose all the money in your bank account, or you would be fired? You'd be like, of course I would do that, right? Like, you would not drink if one of those outcomes were to happen if you were to drink, right? So you could do it, right? If you really dig in there, you could do it. But right now your mind is telling you kind of a lie. It's like, I don't think I can do that, right? That's just automatic. That's just, everybody thinks that, right? About new things. Like, I just went to Italy. Last week I was in Italy. I was there for 10 days and I didn't drink any alcohol. I was in Italy and I did not drink alcohol. Do you guys know what that means? Like, for me to have believed that that was possible 5 or 6 years ago, I would have for sure thought, there is no way in hell I would go to Italy and not drink. Are you crazy? Like that's what I would think, okay? Because I was very much into wine and wineries and the whole song and dance, right? So me imagining myself going to Italy 5 years ago and not drinking the wine literally felt impossible because I had that thought. I could not do that. I don't think I could do that. I would also have thoughts like that would suck. That wouldn't be any fun. Why would I even go to Italy and not drink the wine? Right? Like, isn't that why people go to Italy? Like, I would question all of that, right? But now I don't think that. Now I think I can go to Italy and not drink and it's amazing. And that's what I just did. Okay. So I just need to illustrate to you guys that it really is a sentence in your mind that probably isn't true. And you want to question those thoughts. Okay. What if you could? That's also a really good question. So you might come up with this, a new goal for yourself around alcohol. And your first thought is like, I don't think I can do that. Right. Everybody thinks that. That's a very sort of like vanilla thought, basic bitch thought. As my coach likes to say, she's like, that's a basic bitch thought. Like, don't be basic bitches, okay? Don't let that shit sit in your mind. Of course you can do it, right? How do we know? Because if there's some threatening situation, you would figure it out, right? You want to ask yourself those questions so you can be like, all right, I could see in this situation, if I was in this place, I could say no to a glass of wine, right? I could do it if I had to, right? We know that we can. So we want to let go of that thought, I don't think I can. You want to say, I can do it, right? But what are my obstacles in achieving that? Or what if I could do it? What would that look like? What would that experience be like for me? What would be a benefit of doing it? What if it wasn't that hard, right? Don't just accept, I don't think I can do that, right? Because usually when we think those types of thoughts, in a flash of a second, our mind goes to all of the obstacles and all of the suffering and all the deprivation and all of the drama and how hard it's going to be and all the work that it's going to take for you not to do it. And a second or less, it's like, right? And it concludes, I don't think I can do that. That's going to be too hard. Right? And if I don't think I can do it and I fail, I won't be able to deal with how I feel about myself if I fail at this again. Right? That's probably even the bigger thing to be aware of in your mind, right? Your mind is telling you a story of what the experience is going to be like. It's going to sound terrible and awful, and you're going to be deprived and suffer and not have any fun. And if you don't make it, it's even worse because now you are going to be shitting all over yourself and be embarrassed and feel frustrated and shameful that you couldn't do it. Okay? All of this is optional. You don't have to shame yourself if you don't make it. You also can make it really fun. You could use it as an opportunity to learn about yourself, to move the needle on your relationship with alcohol, to unwind your need for alcohol in certain situations. It could be fun. It could be life-changing. It could be a whole different, experience than the one that you're currently saying, I don't think I can do that. Please give yourself the time and the space to dig into that thought if you have it, okay? Because doubt is not necessary for any of this stuff, okay? You will have it. It's normal for your brain to think that, but don't just stop there, okay? Listen to it. Be like, oh, that's interesting. Well, what if it was possible? What if I could do it? What would that be like? What if it could be fun? And I felt really good and I got really clear on why I was drinking and I got better sleep and maybe I didn't eat so much when I didn't drink so much and, a lot of things improved and I could do it. What then? Right? So that's what's available to you if you can give yourself some time and space to think through and not just listen to those first objections like, I don't think I can do it. Right? And this is where life coaching can be really helpful, to have a coach that can help show you how you're thinking about doing new things and be like, hey, do you realize the impact of that thought? Because if you play that out and you don't listen to it and poke some holes in it and evaluate these thoughts and redirect your mind and learn how to manage your mind, you won't do it. Right? So that thought, I don't think I can do it, before you even try, creates a result for yourself of I don't do it. If that thought goes unchecked, will go, I don't think I can do it, creates a result for you of I don't do it. Okay, because your thoughts create your results. And this is a really, if like you could change that thought and call that thought out whenever you want to do something new, going for a new job, starting a business, finding the love of your life, improving your relationship with your kids, stopping over drinking, losing weight, you can see the impact of that thought, right? How many times have you thought I couldn't do something? And then you don't do it. You don't even give yourself an opportunity to try. It's like you quit on yourself ahead of time. And I promise you it's worth the effort. Even if you don't make it fully, you will learn so much about yourself and you'll feel proud of yourself that you actually tried instead of just doubting yourself the whole time or before you even start. Okay, so pay attention to that one. That's a big one that I want you to hear yourself saying when you decide to change your relationship with alcohol or go for any other goal. That one's going to come up and you just want to be like, hey, I'm ready for you. I knew you were coming. I knew that you would say that, brain, and be like, what else could we think instead? What else could be true? What if we could do it? All right, my friends. Also, Wine-Free Work Week is happening October 24th through October 27th. The link to sign up is in the show notes. Come have some fun with me. Let me show you how fun it is to take 4 days off of drinking. It's free. Every day I'm going to come into a Zoom and coach you all and answer your questions. You're going to get an email every day. You can win prizes. You're going to take a pledge to go alcohol-free for those 4 days during the work week with everybody else. It's super fun, and you don't want to miss out because I only do this now a couple times a year, and I want you to come. So click through the show notes, sign up with your email. You'll get an email from me exactly with all the details of the challenge and the Zoom links and all the details. And then if you want to join my coaching program, you are welcome to do that now as well too. So we'll also include the link in the show notes for that, but it's angelamascenik.com/join SODSL. And then you can also do Wine-Free Work Week if you want to. All right, my friends, I love you. Oh, don't forget to email me your successes on listening to the podcast, questions you'd like me to maybe answer on my 200th episode. If you'd like a shout out with your name, your first name in the podcast, I'd love to celebrate you and your dedication to stopping over drinking and start living. All right, my friends, talk to you next week. Bye.